Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Podstars where we have the biggest headphones, we have the biggest microphones, but we have the smallest penises. Today we have a very special episode क्योंकि पिछली बारी हमारे शो पर थोड़ी let's just say it got a bit heated और थोड़ी argument हो गई थी between Keshav and AMK.
This is the first time we're talking after that episode.
Because so basically I was watching this video of this fighter. His name is Francis Ngannou. I've become a big fan of his recently. तो उसने अपनी एक वीडियो में वो अपना वो दिखा रहा था his the place where he trains. तो वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ था जो octagon नहीं होता the UFC ring. तो उसमें लिखा था HR, human relations. Whenever anybody has a beef at the gym, like whenever you have a problem with someone at the gym, you go to an HR in the office. At the fight gym, you go to the octagon and you sort it out like real fighters. So today, guys,
Which is the
AMK
rectangle.
सोच खुद से इश्यूज है अकेले खड़ा हुआ
बैठ के लोड़े
काम कर रही है
आपको मार रहा
अगर
है।
प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट करता रहता है कारण ले काम
Mental illness.
But anyway,
I'm
so
my own worst enemy
guys, my point being that पिछली बारी हमारे यहाँ argument हो गई थी and the topic was Keshav was for the point that the moon landing in the US, like the OG first moon landing, that was the US's moon landing was faked. And AMK was for it not being fake. और ये बहुत हीटेड हो गया था पिछली बारी थोड़ी बहुत चीज़ें भी टूटी है हमें इक्विपमेंट रिप्लेस करनी पड़ी है and it was a very very big heated argument, so they both mutually decided that to not let this affect the friendship and our professional podcasting careers,
Depending on how today goes.
yeah, that we will let this be the octagon and their voices
Be our fists and legs.
what
Be our voices.
yeah
Be our fists and
and let their voices be their fists and legs, and let's just hash it out. Have you guys prepared?
हाँ
a lot.
So guys, this is basically going to be a debate. I'm going to be the mediator and I'm going to have no biases. कोई bias नहीं होगी. अगर किसी ने किसी की बहन चोदी है तो मैं बस बताऊंगा कि वो
Molly
चुद गई
didn't
है.
even know that we've gone. Molly thought the moon
ये
was just
देखो।
a sticker.
Yeah,
the end
I
of the
did not
earth.
know planets exist. मेरे को पता नहीं था planets क्या होते हैं. Anyway, so guys, who would like to start first?
We're
Let this battle
starting
begin.
With Keshav, where I'm defending the moon landing, whereas Keshav is against it.
Guys, this is serious to the point where you can see that Keshav has his iPad, AMK has his laptop, like research हुई है घर पे, and they both are going to come for each other's throats. And now I'm going to be the mediator and I'm going to let them take the stage. The battle begins in 3, 2, 1.
देख in 1969 the US engaged in the space race with the Soviet Union during the Cold War ठीक है landing on the moon was considered a national and technological accomplishment that would like put them as a superior superpower दोनों में
Okay.
और वर्ल्ड में डिक्लेयर हो जाता है कि ये दे आर द शिट टाइमिंग उसकी ऐसी थी कि कहते हैं द अकॉर्डिंग टू द अमेरिकन पेट्रियट फ्रेंड्स नेटवर्क
Okay.
they claimed in 2009 that the landings helped the US government distract public attention from the Vietnam War, which was from November 1955 to 30th April 1975.
Vietnam War was 25 years.
20
years.
Vietnam
20.
War was
55 to
behind.
75.
Yeah, 20 years.
And this moon landing situation was happening in 69.
Yeah, the
Okay.
the successful one happened in 69.
Okay.
One से पहले attempts हो रहे थे.
ठीक है.
The Apollo 11 reached.
Okay.
हाँ.
Reached.
Yeah. तो ना उससे पहले नासा का ना कहते हैं नासा का बजट सिर्फ 1965 में
हाँ.
जब कहते हैं उनको फंडिंग मिली कि
हाँ.
कहते हैं फेडरल बजट होता है यूएस का उसमें
हाँ.
आर्मी वगैरह ये सब नासा का भी उसमें मिलता है हिस्सा
हाँ.
उनको उस साल में 4% हिस्सा मिला बजट का टोटल का
Of the whole federal
हाँ.
budget.
बट ये सुन पिछले 40 साल में उसके बाद से उनका सीधा 40% गिर गया
हाँ.
उसके बाद उनको फेडरल बजट का 1% मिलने लगा
हाँ.
सीधे 4% से और पिछले 15 सालों में 0.4 हो गया वो
But doesn't that, like, what is the point there?
कि कहते हैं उन्होंने अपनी पूरी इन्वेस्टमेंट सिर्फ कहते हैं नासा के लिए इसलिए करी थी कि कहते हैं उनको उस टाइम पे बस सुपीरियर
To accomplish their superiority.
दे थॉट कि देखो बाकी फ्रंट पे तो वियतनाम में तो हार रहे थे
हाँ.
बट उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा पैसा जल्दी इधर डालो कि हम
ताकि हमारी
कि हम
PR था
हाँ,
basically.
कि वियतनाम का कहते हैं जो न्यूज़ आ रही है उसको भी
हाँ.
वो ऑब्वियसली वो
Mitigate कर देंगे.
हाँ, तो कहते हैं उन्होंने कहा कि हम एक तरफ तो हम न्यूज़ को वो करें ना थोड़ा मार्केट करें कि हम देख स्पेस तक पहुंच गए वियतनाम आ रहे कुछ नहीं तो उधर पहुंच गए ऊपर
But don't you think that this point is a slightly like faulty point, because wouldn't the total budget also increase by a lot, because the total federal budget also kept increasing?
No, he's right. By then the funding towards
उस टाइम पे जब वॉर चल रही है, नासा हैड टू कम्पीट विद द वॉर बजट. अब सोच तेरी कंट्री की वॉर चल रही है, तू कहेगा कि मैं
But still they gave 4%, you're saying.
and उसके
But
बाद
then-
सडनली गिर गया.
But
as soon as the
isn't
war,
it falling relative to the amount that's increasing? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that account for, like, you know, because 1959 में इतना अगर उनका वो था GDP या कुछ भी, तो वो GDP बढ़ा, their federal budget would have also increased. So wouldn't it decrease in, like, you know, relation to the increase?
नहीं मैं रिलेटिवली बोल रहा हूँ. उनका जैसे अमेरिका का सबसे जो टॉप हमेशा जो सबसे ऊपर आता है कि सबसे ज्यादा
You're
जितना भी
basically
amount है,
saying their priorities
हाँ,
changed.
X amount
Over
जो था,
there, their priority was
हाँ,
that, so they decided to put in this much of that thing towards
हाँ,
that. ठीक
मून
है.
लैंडिंग के बाद सीधा ही उन्होंने अपना बजट गिरा दिया. अब ये सुन कि कहते हैं नासा की ना इस पे अब रेप्यूटेशन की बात भी आ गई थी.
ठीक है.
कहते थियोरिस्ट ऑब्वियसली क्लेम करते हैं कि कहते लाइक कि नासा को अपनी रेप्यूटेशन बचानी है. और मैं तो ऑब्वियसली मानता हूँ कि उनको ऑब्वियसली अब तुम्हारे को इंस्टेंटली अभी तक पैसे मिल नहीं रहे थे, अब तुमको मिलना शुरू हो गया, अब तुमको कुछ तो करके दिखाना पड़ेगा. तो उन्होंने उस टाइम पे उठाए थे 30 बिलियन.
ठीक है.
30 बिलियन मून पे जाने के लिए. और कहते हैं अगर अब कहते हैं उन्होंने बहुत कहते हैं मिशन फेल कर दिया, अब कहते हैं उन पे आ गया कि अब तो कुछ
So this was 30 billion back then.
Yes.
30.
Yeah, 30. Mary Bennett and David Percy, writer हैं, they claimed in their book Dark Moon, Apollo and the Whistleblowers that with all all the unknown hazards and all the पहली बार कर रहे हैं, they're going to the moon for the first time
Okay.
with a manned mission.
ठीक है.
Why they would have never broadcasted it live, especially after the Apollo 1 incident, जिसमें लाइव टेलीकास्ट पे Apollo 1 का पूरा क्रू लाइव टेलीकास्ट पे जल के मर गया था और उन पे लीगल एक्शन हुआ था.
नासा पे.
हाँ, कहते हैं सारे कहते हैं वो पागल हो गए थे कि भाई लीगल, कहते हैं बच्चे टीवी देख रहे हैं, ये सब क्या हुआ.
हाँ.
और इसके बाद नासा बहुत पब्लिक ह्यूमिलेशन हुई थी Apollo 1 के बाद, और पोटेंशियल पॉलिटिकल अपोजिशन की नासा को बंद करो भाई, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे अमेरिका में वो भी थे कि भाई बाहर क्या बकवास है. लाइक दिस
इंडिया में कह रहा हूँ, मतलब अपने देश में पैसा लगाओ.
नहीं लाइक व्हाट द फक इज आउटसाइड, देयर इज नथिंग आउटसाइड. ऐसा वो साइड भी थी अमेरिका की कि देयर इज नथिंग आउट,
कुछ है ही नहीं बाहर.
कि कहते हैं तुम बस पैसे वेस्ट कर रहे हो, देयर इज नथिंग, लाइक स्टॉप वेस्टिंग मनी, स्टॉप किलिंग, स्टॉप किलिंग यंग पीपल. लाइक
Apollo 1 में लाइव स्ट्रीम अंदर से चल रही थी जिसमें सब जल गए थे.
नहीं बाहर से
अंदर से नहीं, मतलब देश पूरा फट गया वो. इतने
I was
एडवांस
like
कैमरास
कि वही कि अंदर से कैसे चल रही थी. सोच अगर अंदर से चल रही होती और अंदर से लोग जलते हुए दिख रहे
वो तो ऑफ कर देते हैं.
as soon as it burst they live कर
Okay,
दिया.
हाँ.
Like but people saw it.
या
सारे पॉइंट्स अभी मत बोल दियो.
हाँ नहीं अभी नहीं बोल रहा. हाँ
अब बोलूँ मैं.
Wait, so what is the
I am
conclusion
saying
of these
NASA was
points?
trying to save face. Like NASA tried to save face first of all because they had to save face. That's why they faked it and they made the move.
This is your
Okay.
in a
first.
studio.
This is our first round, right?
Yeah.
Moon in
Yeah.
the studio. Okay.
Yeah.
Chal, I'm gonna go through the points you said one by one.
Okay.
You said first you brought up the Vietnam War. ठीक है. At the end of the day, who won the Vietnam War?
Vietnam.
US and Vietnam. That's arguable. Nobody won the Vietnam War.
No,
it's either US or Vietnam.
it's very
ये तो अलग ही
it's
debate चल
very
गया भाई.
arguable. तू खोल के देख ले. Anywhere
No,
Vietnam
but-
and arguable. Casualties US had more, but
So
at the end
That
of
is
the day,
the score.
Vietnam won
That's
the
not
war.
the score.
That's a big that thing कि Vietnam
that
got fucked
is
off in
not-
the war.
That is not a fact. It's arguable that US or Vietnam won the war.
Bhai,
It's
only
not-
US is
it's
arguing
not a
that.
It's not a fact.
Only the US argues that. The whole globe, any history podcast you hear, I've recently heard about how the big L that the US
Anywhere,
took.
but it's not a fact that Vietnam won the war. It's not a fact. You can Google
But
this right
the
now.
US
It's not a fact.
retreated.
Google it.
The US
Google
literally
it.
retreated.
भाई ये मून लैंडिंग से ये तो
Anyways,
प्लेनेट
ठीक
से
है.
बाहर नहीं निकला ये.
Let him Google that. I'll move to the second point. ठीक है. मैं कह रहा था Vietnam War. You said diverging direction from the Vietnam War, right? They wanted
attention
a distraction, basically.
Yeah.
Even when the whole thing was happening, most of US citizens, people.
But wait, one sec. So what is your definition of the US winning the Vietnam War?
I didn't say US. I didn't say
No,
US.
but why
It's
is it
arguable that both
debatable?
of them
Why
won.
is it debatable?
That why US won the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of it. I didn't say that Vietnam War. I didn't say that US won. I said both of them. If US was trying to diverge away from the war and not putting
This is-
money against resources,
This is one answer.
They were
okay?
losing. That's why they wanted to distract everyone.
No, one
Listen,
second.
it's very funny to read all the comments about how the US didn't lose the war or there was an upside or strategic win for the US. These people are either completely brainwashed by revisionist propaganda or have no understanding of history. Let's get one thing straight.
He's
The
reading a comment. He's not reading a fact.
MBA from some
It's like
graduate
you
school.
are commenting about.
This has 178k answer views with a fuck ton of likes on.
अच्छा ठीक है पर तेरे को
But
पता ना
this
this
is-
is not a history book fact. These are comments.
No, but the thing is that how why are you saying that? You just read.
No, I'm
so
saying even I just read, but
you just read but do you know what the US's goal with the war was?
I'm saying I'm relating it
No,
to
but
something
you
else.
no, but do you know what the goal of the war was?
No, I don't know what the goal of the war was.
That's what. So the goal of the Vietnam War was to fuck off the US and whatever the US was trying to. Keshav,
अच्छा,
tell
ठीक
us
है,
what
ठीक
the
है.
US was trying to do there.
What my point relating to is that he said कि the US stopped funding the Vietnam War और वो पैसा देना बंद कर दिया. They diverted all the money towards NASA, right?
Okay.
They did divert money towards NASA, but no distraction went away from the war at all. There were protests going on throughout the US when the NASA funding was there. They were asking, why the fuck are you funding NASA more? Why the fuck aren't you helping our refugees? Why aren't you helping our people? People have lost their jobs. Companies have shut. Everything is shut. People in US were informed about this. It was a chosen decision by Nixon.
But don't you think that me being the mediator right now, I'm more towards I'm not saying that the moon landing, but on this particular point, the US tried to distract them.
That's
and
what
they
I
failed
said.
at doing
I don't think so. They tried to distract them because
They
the
failed.
Soviet.
They failed at doing so, right? Like
I'll-
the argument could be that they tried to distract them, but वो अब distract नहीं हुए वो अलग बात है ना. उनको नहीं पता कि crowd कैसे react
Not
करेगा.
really. They've been working. They started working on space stuff since the previous president, which was John F. Kennedy.
Okay, that's
John
a
F.
valid
Kennedy
point.
has always wanted that why are the Soviets progressing in space stuff and why aren't we progressing? There's a phone call, there's a transmission of John F. Kennedy and talking to these scientists that there's a telegram of this
Yeah.
of him literally saying that why aren't we putting more effort?
Okay.
Why are the Soviets crossing us again? Do we need to put in more effort? Do we need more money? Do we need more men? This is a whole telegram about John F. Kennedy. Then when
hai.
Nixon came in, and this is the year, the past 3 years, Soviets have been crossing them. Now this is what they called the years of the space war, space race.
ठीक है.
This is what the space race was. The Soviets did their Sputnik. They were the first ones to send the first satellite into space.
Okay.
Now they did 3 missions. In total, I forgot to write down the 3 missions, but they did 3 missions after that, which were successful, and these guys crossed. Okay? Now, one thing. Why wouldn't the Soviet Union, which has numerous amount of scientists closely watching the moon landing, watching the rocket through telescopes, take off Earth, call out the US on this? If the rocket did not go out, if the mission was not successful, if those scientists failed to prove that, then
That's a good point. The Vietnam War point, I, as the judge, will not say because a lot of people, except the US people, say the Vietnam War was lost by the US. Like it's famous for the US getting kicked out of there. But this point is valid. The scientists ने क्यों call out नहीं किया? Now
कहते हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एक कहते हैं ऑब्जर्वेटरी थी. मैं उसका नाम लिखा नहीं था because I didn't think he would raise this point because I thought anyone who was researching would find this in the first link.
Okay.
कहते हैं जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाले वो देख रहे थे उनकी कहते हैं लाइव फीड काट दी गई थी and they were told to get the feed from, like they had a clearer vision of the rocket from their side, from their observatory, but they had to take live feed from US. That's why there was a delay also in their feed.
What do you mean? Like
They could have broadcasted on their own, but they had to take from the US.
no, all the
But what about
broadcasting
their
was done
own-
through. They were not satellites broadcasting. There
Not
were channels.
satellite.
There were channels
there was a
broadcasting this.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कहते हैं एक ऑब्जर्वेटरी थी. They
तो
had
उनके टेलीस्कोप से वो
हाँ.
देख रहे थे. But फिर वो
उनको रोका गया था.
क्या कि अपना टेलीस्कोप से मत देखो. But how can they control?
There, you're missing some globs on that.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जो फीड कहते हैं जो टीवी पे उनके भी दिखाई गई थी वो यूएस से आई थी. बट इवन दो ऑस्ट्रेलिया हैड अ बेटर विजन, बट दे वर नॉट अलाउड.
No, but the telescope say their feet can't be cut.
No, what he's trying to say is कि
They could have
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जो observatory थी,
Right.
वो they also had the capability of broadcasting it to their
But they were told not to.
broadcasting from their telescope to the general public in Australia.
I
But
don't-
the US said you don't use your feed, you'll use our feed.
Yeah.
I don't.
But
see
wait,
it as-
I'll defend AMK on this one. But this is about broadcasting,
Hmm.
right? But did the Australians, from just the scientists, see it not happening?
इस बारे में कोई वो नहीं है.
नहीं,
Because then they
I'm
would see it not
defending- हाँ,
happen.
I'm defending that point only what you just said. Broadcasting would honestly mean that the US wants to broadcast the feed which way they've put 400 500 million, and I don't think they'd give rights till date. If a channel or somebody is broadcasting something, they will not let another personality or personnel broadcast that thing. If a country is making a remarkable
They would want to
move,
they would want to
want to
control it
broadcast
as much
itself.
as they can. But if it does have a better angle or whatever, but still this is a little yeah.
or Soviet Union, they in their own space personnel, in their own book by the Soviet Union, they've mentioned and they've condoned not condoned, sorry, they've appreciated that the US was the fourth entity to go into space and man this basically the Apollo 11 mission, and that it was successful, and the US was the first one to do that. So you said budget went towards NASA, and we could argue that that budget did not go in the right space if you're saying what was fake, right? That budget was, then the budget wasn't used basically. if
No,
the
I'm
landing was
saying
fake.
they got the money, but they were failing because they could not deliver. Like
Acha, they used the money and they
Yeah.
were failing.
yeah.
So they had how many missions had they failed? 1 से लेकर 11. Was that 1 2 3 ऐसे था या फिर?
Only the first successful was Apollo 11. Huh?
So did they go like 1 2 3 4? Did it go like in a normal 1 2 3 4 वाला manner?
Yeah,
Normal
all of them were
तो
filmed.
तो 10
Apollo-
fail हुए थे उनके.
As soon as Apollo 11 was accomplished, Apollo 12 was also accomplished.
इस चलिए मैं
Apollo
पॉइंट बहुत
12
आखिरी में रखना चाहता था, बट ये
रुक
सुन.
जाना फिर. अच्छा ठीक है, तो if he's brought that point
Yeah.
up, you can also go.
अब ये बता, if this doesn't sound like,
Fishy.
yeah, US is the only country to have sent people to the moon. This is from Hindustan Times का पूरे clipping है. I'll read it out.
No other country has gone to the moon.
No country. I'll show you also.
They
Uni-
sent rovers.
The United
Yeah.
The United States, the Soviet Union, China, and are the three nations which have successfully landed their spacecraft on the moon. And US is the only country to ever put a person on the moon. Russia, Japan, China, European Space Agency, and India have all made visits to the moon via probes.
Yeah.
The last time a person visited the moon was in December 1972 during NASA's Apollo 17 mission.
17.
72 में 1972 में
हाँ.
1975 में वॉर खत्म हुई. Over the decades, NASA have planned to send back people to the moon, but yet have yet not succeeded. Astronauts claim that the biggest reason why humans haven't returned to the lunar surface are budgetary and political hurdles. And look at this. Look at this photo. यहाँ से तो सारे मिशंस दे सकता है. ये हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स की क्लिपिंग है. Luna 2, 9, so सारे, but manned देख किसके हैं सिर्फ? Manned USA, manned USA, manned USA, manned USA, manned USA. Only US has done this. Now tell me.
Okay, yeah, that is
Why
also...
has no other country done this, and why has US stopped doing this after this? इस टाइम पे अगर पैसा था तो अब कहाँ गया वो पैसा?
Acha,
That is true.
I can
This is
correct
also-
this. I
अगर
can correct this
72
very
में
easily.
पहुंच गए थे तो अगर 2022 तक तो हमारे पास स्पेस स्टेशन होना चाहिए था मून
कितने
के ऊपर.
50 साल हो गए
हाँ.
और 50 साल पहले अगर मैंड भेज दिया
मून
था.
पे तो वो होना चाहिए कि यहाँ से विजिट
Yeah.
कर सकते हो तुम प्रॉपर्ली, जो अब
True.
इलॉन मस्क को कर रहे हैं कि
True,
बाहर
true,
स्पेस
true.
विजिट कर रहे हैं. 72 में हम हो आए हैं वहाँ पे. अब मुझे बता.
That's a good point. I agree with
The
that one.
reason we don't do that, I've read this point, and Neil deGrasse Tyson has corrected this point,
Okay.
not me. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson's statements. The reason we don't send more people to the moon is because even though it's been done 30-40 years back, it's still risky. 50 years back, it's still risky. There are technological challenges because people have to survive there for a bit. वहाँ पर जब मून में गए थे आधे एक घंटे में घूमकर वापस आ गए. ठीक है?
तो
ठीक
फिर
है?
वो फिर से क्यों नहीं कर रहे?
क्योंकि you can send robots, you can send things to do that. No, we don't have to risk human life now. We
No,
don't
but-
have to do that.
No, but the sketchy part is that no other country has done it.
No
and
country is doing that because the countries can also send robots. It's cheaper to send robots, and it's cheaper to do that. A man is just there to make a statement about the country. He's
But
risking
why
his
is
life
that
to make a
that
statement about
if the
something.
US thought that statement was so important, why does no other country also
Because
want
that
to
times we did not have robots and these advancements to pick
but
up.
all of those other previous ones before that were unmanned.
Yes, all
Though
of them were unmanned.
So
they
these
weren't
were all
collecting
unmanned.
They
Yes.
weren't collecting as much data as the Apollo. You know how much shit Apollo 11 brought back? They brought back 400 kgs of space rock,
Okay.
moon rock. They collected all the data from the moon.
You just now you
And I'm
messed up
diverging.
your own point.
Order.
You kind of contradicted your own point because
How?
if man brought back so much stuff,
now there are robots that bring up more stuff. Now जो moon पे हमारे पास है, that the data it collects, the density of the rock that collects, we know the luminosity
but dude,
of the moon now.
the still the difference between ऐसे तो फिर Elon Musk would be like कि मैं robot मार्स पे भेज देता हूँ
हाँ.
पहले.
क्यों भेज दिया उसने भी? रोबोट ही तो भेजा मार्स पे पहले.
कौन सा भेजा है उसने robot?
मार्स रोवर.
Elon ने भेजा है वो.
Mars rover is by NASA. He studies through the Mars rover. All the details are studied. He doesn't need to send a robot to the.
No, but it just
And
feels
SpaceX also has a rover in Mars.
this
by the way.
this point I would give to Keshav.
But
Ki-
defend why you would give it to Keshav, no?
Because it just seems a bit unrealistic that, dude, if any other country had also been there, because उस time पे everybody like, dude, 1970 first कब हुई थी? 69.
59.
अगर first, no wait, 69 was the first manned one,
हाँ,
right?
yes.
So you're telling me उसके बाद से कम देख robots कब जाने शुरू हुए फिर ढंग के? What could you tell me the year the robots
As
started?
soon as we sent the rover to
Which was what?
Moon.
2000s.
around that time, around
Yeah,
after
so
the
there was
90s.
a gap of what? Around 20, 25, 30
You see
years.
how NASA also didn't repeat after that. NASA also stopped sending people to space.
Because
It's not that we don't
no,
send
but the
people
thing
to
is that
space. We
इस
send people to space.
69 वाले से लेकर 2000 जब तक proper robots नहीं आए थे, कोई और country तो try करती इंसान भेजने की.
Rovers वगैरह आए थे तब that's when we started testing out rovers on Mars. We sent rovers to Mars.
I don't know. I feel like someone else would have tried to send a
Yes,
man to the moon.
definitely.
It just seems.
I personally feel it's cheaper and more economical to send. If you're doing
But
now, it's
if-
more
but
expensive.
you will-
रशिया के पास तो पैसे खत्म हो रहे थे. चाइना ने डेफिनेटली भेजा होता.
they would have
Definitely,
to
yeah.
accomplish their superiority. Someone, dude, politics is literally just a dick game. Who has the bigger dick? So there is no way that someone would have not
My
tried
first
to.
statement was who is going to be a superior superpower.
Yeah, that's what.
And
so
like, why would they?
I don't
stop.
think
Why would they stop doing
because
that?
it doesn't make sense to be the third or fourth
But this,
one
it
on
didn't
moon.
make sense to do this even then.
It was a
No, it doesn't make sense.
was a
for
global
country
street fight. It doesn't have to
country
make sense.
risk a life in which they would be politically
You think
demolished.
politicians care about lives?
No, but this is a worldwide statement. The
That
same reason Apollo 1 got so much hate throughout the country because the people died. People burned to death.
But it's a risk you're willing to take.
To be the third one to reach the moon.
His third one ever.
I
That's-
don't
so
agree with that.
Second.
That
No,
is
obviously,
not
so
that is not a state.
That's the point of the
What-
debate. I'm not convinced. I give the point to AMK.
That's the-
I
Keshav,
gave you the first.
Keshav.
Sorry, I gave you the first one. Now I'm giving this
Yeah.
one to.
You guys
Keshav.
also comment why you think that
This point I'll have to give to Keshav. What are we at? 1-1.
Yeah.
Hmm.
अगला मैं फिर से visual support
हाँ,
लूँगा.
visual evidence.
Do you have a point, AMK? Right now, or should he take the lead?
He can take the lead. No,
Okay,
he's
cool.
the one bringing
Okay,
up the
okay.
points I have to defend.
Okay, yeah. So, ठीक है. Now we're one of the. You can write down the point that you won.
हाँ, तो
And
1-1
phone
है.
a friend lifeline use.
चल हाँ ठीक है. So
Visual,
right now
visual.
we're kind of right now tied at.
So 1 by 1 visual evidence.
Now I want to show
I'll go.
the different lengths and angles of the shadows on the moon footage.
Okay.
I'll show you several photos. पहले तो तू ये देख.
AMK को भी दिखाना.
देख.
ये सारी देखी हुई है
ये देख. ये शैडो इधर से कैसे आ रही है और ये इधर से लाइट सोर्स इधर कैसे है. ये इधर कैसे आ रहा है. इसकी शैडो ये टेढ़ी होनी चाहिए थी इस तरफ. समझ रहे हैं. इवन इफ द सन इज कॉजिंग द शैडो.
Okay.
अब ये देख. एक सेकेंड. आई विल शो यू.
Wait, I didn't get that point.
ये देख. एक सॉरी. हाँ. This rock shadow either if the light source is here, like if the light source has to be one light source है.
Yeah.
तो ये शैडो का एंगल ऐसा होना चाहिए था. समझ रहे जैसे रॉक का है.
ओ जैसे इसका
हाँ,
है तो
हाँ.
इसका क्यों ऐसा नहीं है?
वही तो कहते हैं ये सब ये तो मतलब है कितनी आर्गुमेंट कर लें कि इसकी रिफ्लेक्टिव बॉडी इसका वो बट शैडो थोड़ी फेक है.
Yeah. So you're telling me that if the light source is over
if
here,
there's just one light source, how is
which is and obviously there is only one light source, unless इनने अपनी full beam कर रखी है spaceship.
Okay.
These photos also don't look very like they look kind of sketchy. Like I don't imagine.
You
I
most
don't
of-
think they went
yeah.
with a mirrorless 4K up there.
No,
You
but
missed
not
one
the
point. तो फिर तो स्टार्स वार्स क्यों नहीं पॉइंट आउट करे तूने?
मेरे आगे पॉइंट है
अच्छा
मतलब,
okay.
अरे
अच्छा मैंने पूरा एक ही साथ करा था ना डिबंक है पूरा
डिबंक, अभी तक तू डिबंक हो रहा है बेटे।
भाई this is all by the way NASA's already debunked what you've said.
अबे वो तो करेंगे ही, पैसा खा
अच्छा
गए।
ठीक है by science which is and the
By
experiment no
science.
experiments have been
By the
done.
way of science.
Experiments have been done replicating these photos under the same conditions and I will show you those images also.
शो
First I'll tell you the point. Open the images. ये देख. Now what source of light do you think the moon has
सन।
and the earth? The rays are bouncing off the earth through the ocean. Fine, because of the
Wait,
ocean.
what?
The source of light that the moon has is the earth and the sun. The water on earth reflects the sun rays, in which there are light rays that are converging. Second of all, moon's surface that we know of since the 2000, we know this because of the moon rocks and everything. It's 8% reflective. Fine.
Okay.
The cameras over there, the cameras at that time, I'm going to tell you the stars since I mentioned it anyways, had very fast exposure time. Now, you're a photographer, what does fast exposure time mean?
लो लाइट।
Low light. The star's light doesn't come in because it has really, really fast exposure lights. Now, if you go next, that's where you see why everything the astronaut...
तो अबे ये नहीं है, रुक जा। मेरा एविडेंस उड़ा रहे थे उधर साला।
astronaut के तो अगर तू light जब देखता है converging, moon is filled with craters and it's 8% reflective.
So you're saying the
But
8%
तू मून
is
की बात ही
causing
कर रहा है,
that
this was on a
much-
set right on in Lucasfilm studio.
So you're saying that the craters are reflecting the light to the point where it's creating
No,
whole
it's
shadows.
it's bouncing off. Light is still the sun. It's not bouncing off
So you're
shadows to
saying
the
the
point.
light is
इतनी
bouncing
टेढ़ी
the-
वेढ़ी इधर उधर क्यों हो रही है? Because of the craters and because there are two light sources, not one light
So you're
source.
saying the sun is a bright enough light source to create shadows.
They didn't go at night. They went in the day on the moon.
अबे
This is not at night, by the way. Google it. People, this is a thing people usually mistake, that we did not go to the moon at night. We went during the day.
But still, so
whose day?
Moon's day.
So they
It
were
was
on-
not a it was
yeah, I don't think you're ever on the dark side of the moon. Don't
moon जब आधा moon होता है वो that also on dark with the side of the moon which is not facing the sun is usually a little darker, but this
but
is
that's
during
called the
day.
dark side of the
That's
moon,
called
right?
The dark
So
side of the moon.
wouldn't they always land on the bright side of the moon?
Moon is always rotating.
No, but don't they say that the dark side of the moon is like the we don't know वहाँ क्या हो रहा है? ऐसे भी तो कहते हैं कुछ.
वो तो कहते हैं, but there is a night and
No.
day and moon. Whereas there's
No. But what I'm trying to say is that तो तू मेरे को कह रहा है कि सन की लाइट है और जो अर्थ पे सन की रिफ्लेक्शन आ रही है वो दो लाइट सोर्स है.
दो light sources.
तो
And they're all
दिन में भी
converging.
दिन में तू कह रहा है इतनी ज्यादा ब्राइट होती है कि एक सन से आ रहा है और एक पूरा का पूरा अर्थ की ब्राइटनेस आ
Earth
रही है.
इतनी लाइट नहीं दे रहा, पर अर्थ भी
But
बहुत लाइट दे रहा
To the
है.
point where it'll create shadows.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that one spot that is so close to each other has two different light sources that bright.
What
This
this is
Because look, this picture, like this one, right? This is like this rock and this rock don't seem to be that far away.
भाई अगर दो लाइट सोर्स होंगे तो
That's
शैडो थोड़ी
one
और
light-
खत्म नहीं हो
this is-
जाएगी.
This is one light source. ऐसे थोड़ी जा रही है, converge कर रही है. That's not diverging into each other.
But on one, like say like जैसे हमारे अर्थ पे एक side is like dark, one side is bright, right? But you're saying on the moon, the earth is like reflecting so much light and the sun is reflecting so much light.
Sun
कि
is of
एक-
course reflecting.
Yeah,
way
of
too
course,
much
sun is
light.
giving emitting a lot of light. But you're saying at one point there is so much light from both the sources. Wouldn't it be कि एक
I'm
moon
not
के एक
saying-
side पे एक है, एक side पे एक है और
हाँ.
एक ही point पे दोनों sources से इतनी light आ रही है?
ऐसे लाइट नहीं आ रही, ऐसे लाइट आ रही है. ठीक है, ऐसे सॉरी ऐसे.
ऐसे तो आ रही है light.
Diverging. ठीक है.
But what I'm trying to say
But
is that wouldn't it be like, let's say that this is a globe, right? तो sun की यहाँ पे लग रही है मान ले, और earth like guys for yeah, so sun की जैसे यहाँ लग रही है light और moon की sun की यहाँ लग रही है और earth की यहाँ लग रही है.
हाँ.
But this is clearly not like, and realistically on earth this point and this point would be thousands of kilometers away, right?
And light can't go through earth.
No, that's not my point. But
Light
my
is
point
not
is कि
going through
earth
Earth.
और sun की light बिल्कुल एक point पे ही पड़ रही है.
एक point पे क्या? The sun and earth aren't that far from each other. Why are you thinking the light
But
sources
I
are
need to
like
see your that
If-
thing
look
for
at
this.
I'll show
Do you have a picture? Do you have a picture evidence of this
Uh,
thing? I need to see.
I'll show you clearer pictures that
I
of
want
the
to
moon
see,
landing,
like-
which will make more sense to you. National Geographic took the light sources and took this and replicated these images exactly.
क्योंकि स्टूडियो वहीं सेटअप हुआ हुआ था सब कुछ.
No, under the same conditions, they showed that these images would pop up. And now we know they did this like 3-4 years ago. So we did this under the same circumstances. ये देख. Good photo. This is what they're showing. Fine. Now the argument is, why is there so much shadow? And why, if there is so much shadow, why is this dude not dark?
But ये तो फिर
And now you can see the shadows are also so confusing, right?
बट फिर ये वाली फोटो तो फिर इसका ये मतलब नहीं हो कि एक लाइट सोर्स यहाँ है और एक लाइट सोर्स उसके ऑपोजिट है.
दोनों
Can we
light source
see-
इसके पीछे.
Can we see the moon
They've
relative to the earth and the sun?
They've taken a picture of the earth from the moon. I'll show you that.
That selfie.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. I
selfie
want to
is also
see
there.
where. Show me where the moon is placed on the solar system. I want to see where Earth and Moon are. Show me a picture of the solar system.
यार
They
point
always
दे यार मुझे.
Bhai, they always moving. It's not at the same place all the same time.
So then, what time were they placed at
I'll
this
show you. Now I'm
particular
showing
time?
you this picture. Look at this.
Show me the picture of the solar system, and they'll obviously move in their what is
Relative
this
position.
in their So I can see the circles in the picture of the solar system.
Better picture of the solar system. ये देख ले. हाँ जी. This इसमें है. Earth ये रहा. हाँ.
दिखा.
पूरा moon.
Wait, so the moon is where?
This little dot on the left of.
Earth के बिल्कुल वहाँ.
Okay,
rock.
so this does make sense. Cause yeah, like that's what I was also wondering.
And you want to see how
Wait,
close
wait.
they could see the reflection of the sun also. This right here and that's the moon.
So like this could be a light source, and then this is also a light source
It's
that's like
bouncing off
right
the
there.
ocean.
Yeah, that's right there. So it could go
That's what
like,
I'm saying, no? It's going like this. It's not going parallel to each other. That's why the shadows are so confusing. And on top of that, exposure time का तो मैंने तेरे को बता ही दिया.
Okay, I'll have to give this one to
Me.
I'll have to give this one to EMK.
And one more thing, which was debunking taking this in a studio.
What?
Do you know that it would have costed less at that time to actually go to the moon than to replicate these conditions?
How is that possible?
We didn't have
It would have
close
cost
by
30
LEDs.
billion.
The shadow conditions that are there right now, we didn't have LED TVs. We didn't have advancements in technology that was this far. You would be creating another conspiracy that people were hiding close light LEDs in which they could create these perfect scenarios. And they've tested this. You cannot create this by the lights they had back then, not studio lights they had back then.
Damn, okay. Okay, we're at
हाँ. ये बता मौली एक और चीज़ थी जो fishy मतलब.
थी.
हाँ. When the क्या था वो? हाँ. जो कहते हैं उनका जो लैंड किया था मून पे their module, it made no crater, but like they said कि कहते हैं it was a hard rock sheet है, the hard rock bed था इसलिए कहते हैं कुछ crater नहीं बनाई, ठीक है. But the astronaut's foot का पूरा imprint बन गया अच्छे से. How did that happen?
Okay.
वो एस्ट्रोनॉट का
And
फुट का imprint is a
claim कि-
famous
yeah,
that thing, no?
They claim कि कहते हैं उसमें फ्रिक्शन बहुत है उसकी मिट्टी में वो, तो फिर क्रेटर का कुछ तो बनता ना. क्रेटर के नीचे बिल्कुल प्लेन था. See this photo? I'll show you.
Wait, so this is their land the ship landing created nothing.
Yeah, see this. How?
Yeah, this is a very sketchy thing.
Okay. So there's not only no crater, there also isn't, if you notice in that picture, कि repulsion के जो thrusters है उसका भी burn नहीं है. That's what people also argue about. Why aren't there burns of the thruster on the ground? And that all falls under the same thing. There's less gravity on the moon. I will come to the foot wala part also. There's less gravity on the moon. So this thing weight,
Even on moon's weight, इसका moon पे weight कहते हैं 12,000 टन था. कितना
it was
pound?
1/16th of the weight. It weighed almost like a car tire on the moon. That's what the whole thing weighed
But then
as.
how did the foot imprint get
Friction.
imprinted?
That was just because the foot had design. The crater was flat. I mean, the bottom of the thing was almost flat. Why will it create an impression? And we don't know if it created an impression after we left the moon. It was landed there. उनको कैसे पता उसके नीचे कुछ है कि नहीं? It didn't leave a crater. but it would have left an impression like the foot left an impression. It weighed 1/16th its weight. It weighed almost like a tire. I can bet that dude weighed more than a tire with a spacesuit on.
नहीं इसका वेट
Weight-
टन्स में ही था यार 12,000 पाउंड
1/16th its weight.
Wait,
That's
you're
what
saying
they
the
relate
human
to.
weighed more than the whole crater, but the human was also on the moon.
No, this thing had thrusters while it was landing. So it didn't dent it. This guy was
But
walking.
the thrusters,
भी तो
walking and thrusters would create something.
Thrusters
Doesn't-
because thruster के इतनी burn थे, moon burns less than the earth, plus the thrusters were not that burn based.
पैरों के
now.
निशान दिख रहे हैं मिट्टी में, मतलब अर्थ की मिट्टी में, और वो देख वहाँ कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ तो होता.
Yeah, this is a bit.
हमारा फोटो क्लियर नहीं है इतनी क्योंकि पुराने कैमरे थे, बट अगर पैरों के निशान दिख रहे हैं
dude, like when you even thrusters, क्या जब हेलीकॉप्टर लैंड होता है तब चीजें हिल जाती हैं.
भाई हेलीकॉप्टर मून में थोड़ी लैंड होता है.
Hmm.
I'm saying कि helicopter does not have the fucking
Thrust on the bottom of
yeah,
it and-
even though it's only wind and not straight fire blowing at the ground, it still creates a sort of impression. But
Hmm.
if thrusters were landing anywhere, may it be the moon,
This-
it would create. You're saying that thrusters coming down
This
will not move
shuttle-
shit around a bit. कुछ तो
Yeah,
fuck
it
up
blew
होता.
the dirt. It blew. That's the most it did. It blew the dirt. These thrusters did not need. You're underestimating how less of gravity moon has. It has very less gravity where you would jump and you would feel like you're flying. It did not need as much support as it does that you estimate कि मैंने ये करा. This is not moon. This is moon. Like,
I know,
you
but
won't even hear
thrusters
the
का
noise.
कुछ तो होता.
Thrusters is not. You're not. You. These are different thrusters.
This
These
literally
aren't-
looks like it was placed there
That
like,
it
as a
does.
prop.
That
This
it
is
does.
not. This is just planted. You just because craters aren't there does not mean a thing wasn't there. Moon is filled with craters. They could have easily. This is stupid of NASA not placing a if this was fake.
हाँ तो लाइटिंग फक अप कर दी, क्रिएटर फक अप कर दिया, स्टूडियो की
Lighting fuck up नहीं करिए. Lighting is been proved now, so you can't say against that.
स्टूडियो की क्वालिटी इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी. किसने बनाया
Debunking
था?
something that's been proved by scientists now, but different
Why
companies.
scientists
is
were
something
paid? We are not getting paid.
Keshav is
400
honest.
They were paid to.
400,000 scientists.
Yeah, all of them were paid.
Yeah, this is. I'll have to give this to Keshav
I'll take it, sir.
because there hasn't been.
No साले.
मैंने कहा okay.
अच्छा.
There hasn't been enough scientific debunking
No,
of
because
this.
you didn't see the. If I could show the experiment, like the whole experiment, then it would make sense. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
like
saw the
right
whole
now,
experiment.
verbally this one. So we're to all.
और एक और विजुअल प्रूफ अगला फिर से obviously.
So AMK, you want him to go first?
He has to go first.
Okay.
I have to give a theory,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
he will
yeah.
have to try.
Okay.
He will have to try his very best.
Let's go.
There's a photo of the astronaut. उसकी ना reflection में you can see on the top left there's an unexplained object which looks like a studio light and like अब उसके हेलमेट में दिख रहा है कि कहते हैं there's a studio light. You can clearly
Okay,
see that's
yeah.
hanging from something. I'll show you the photo. See on the top left. इसका कहते हैं top left पे if you see उसको zoom out कर थोड़ा.
Yeah, this is.
क्योंकि वहाँ ऊपर कुछ नहीं उड़ रहा हो सकता था. It's literally a light hanging there.
Yeah, this is actually very sketchy.
लेकिन लिटरली उन्होंने इतना लो प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट रखा है क्योंकि हमके बता रहा था उनका था ही नहीं इक्विपमेंट. इतना कम प्रोडक्शन कहते बंदा मतलब लाइट पकड़.
इस टाइप वाली लाइट उस टाइम एग्जिस्ट करती थी.
हाँ, these were the straight lights.
भाई ये तो देख इसका क्या ही काउंटर
नहीं, मैं
पॉइंट
कर
हो
रहा हूँ,
सकता है.
मैं दे रहा हूँ counter.
क्या
I
कर-
know he was gonna bring this up because this is what that Bill Fraser, who started all this conspiracy, brings this up.
But ये this is also it's not exactly very clear.
अच्छा, now let me explain. Can
Yeah,
I fight
true.
against it?
उधर रिफ्लेक्शन में कुछ होना ही नहीं चाहिए था ना.
True,
It should have
true.
been plain
It
black.
should have been
Okay.
plain black like the
This
left.
effect on your brain is called proxia. Okay, this is when you start imagining things out of seeing something. Okay, and why you see something is also because this is film. This is not a picture that was just this was printed and this was made. This was film. There are artifacts on film, as we know. Okay, there are there's glare on that picture. There's everything. That could be dirt. That could be anything on that picture. That is not nothing. There's glare on that picture on the right where this picture is.
भाई पूरी दुनिया देख रही है, मुंह तक पहुंच के जाएगा नीचे.
This is not of the video. This is a picture that they took. They had cameras in the middle of their suits like this dude does right now. He's not holding the camera. He's just pressing the button on the camera. Those cameras were in their suit.
But if that was the case, did this particular dude take more pictures? Because then
There are
this should
4,000 pictures.
so then this should be every picture that that particular man took with that camera should have that impression. If
What
it was
temperature?
dirt.
Dirt? What dirt?
You
Why is
said that it
it's
could be
film.
dirt on the camera,
It's
right?
film. It's analog. But no artifacts are 100% replicable.
But if the lens is dirty, if the lens has something on
No,
it,
not the lens. I'm saying the printing was dirty. It's the film is printed, right? That's how film was made. It was washed. It was hung. It was done. Everything. It was red coated. All the film was made. It was printed. It's not. It's,
are there any random unexplained artifacts in the other 4,000 pictures?
These people bring up anything that was not
These
explainable.
people.
These people, anything that was not explainable, they brought up. That's what proxia is.
I'll just come.
The picture I was randomly looking at right now. There's glare over here. There's this shadow over here. There's this glare over here. This is just normal film artifacts.
Yeah, this is. Let's just.
And I do not think that NASA is stupid enough to let a picture go with a fucking camera tripod. Right?
Abhi, they
But
didn't
then
think people
again-
would question them. They thought कि
they
are the.
wanted the fame of the conspiracy.
But
नहीं,
then-
they thought कि हमने अगर बोलते no one would say कि कहते ये नकली है.
But वो लोग उस टाइम पे फोटोशॉप कर सकते थे इसको.
वो पिक्चर ही नहीं डालते ना वो वाली. ये these pictures were
True.
released after these guys landed.
गलती
ये
हुई.
बिना देखे अपलोड कर दी इनने.
कोई
अरे
आलसी
but-
एडिटर होगा इनका उसने कहते बिना देखे डाल दी.
But the thing is कि यहाँ पर जो artifacts है ना, वो बहुत evidently artifacts है. ये वाला बहुत ही छोटा है यार.
बेटे पॉइंट लेके जा रहा हूँ मैं.
Artifact है भाई उसके.
आर्टिफैक्ट क्या होता है?
These are easily. That's what proxy. That's what NASA also said. You're seeing.
अबे पर
things
मैं
that
तो इस
aren't
पिक्चर
there.
को पहली बार ही देख रहा हूँ. मैं बहुत बार ही देख के थोड़ी बोल रहा
नहीं
हूँ.
नहीं. This is what people when they can't explain something. So the nearest explanation they have, they start imagining that's what it is. So the first person, which was Bill Kaiser, that started this conspiracy, he's the one who pointed this out when he saw this picture. By the way, that dude was fucking crazy. He was a janitor before who started this conspiracy. By the way. And he made his fame on this thing. That's your father. I mean, father of the whole conspiracy.
Bill Kaiser.
Yeah.
Dude, just from looking at this picture,
Out of the 4,000 pictures, they're more evident. This is just a random
मौली
picture.
दुनिया की बात छोड़े इस टेबल पे तेरे को कन्विंस करना है हमने बस.
हाँ.
तू अपना
yeah, you are the
तू
outsider. We
अपना
have to
पॉइंट दे
convince
हमारे
you.
को हमारे मेरे को.
this is a bit sketchy, so I'll have
Your
to
Honor,
give this to Keshav.
I take it. Sir.
Because if you would have brought me more pictures to counter this
No,
point,
this
with-
is a random picture that we just
I
had
know,
open.
but if you got more pictures to counter this particular, like you said, artifact. So if you showed me a similar artifact in one of those, in a few more of those 4,000 pictures, because 4,000 is a big sample, right? So
Okay.
if you could show me artifacts in more pictures, then I would give you this point. But because the particular artifact that you showed me was a very obvious glare.
Score is
No, no.
3-1.
No, it's 2-3.
2-3.
2 all था अभी.
अच्छा.
3-1.
2-3.
AMK got 2 points, you got 2
Yeah.
points. Now you got this one.
Okay, now I'll do the scientific one.
Okay.
There's something called the Van Allen radiation belt. ठीक है?
Okay.
In order to reach the moon, astronauts had to pass through the Van Allen radiation belt. The belt is held in place by Earth's magnetic field and stays perpetually in the same place.
All right.
The Apollo mission to the moon marked the first ever attempt to transport living human live
Through the Van Allen
through
belt.
the belt.
Okay.
The high radiation levels would have cooked the astronauts en route to the moon, despite layers of aluminium coating in the interior and the exterior of the ship. NASA now claims that they were in the belt for a very short time and experienced a very little radiation, which any person who works at a nuclear plant experiences.
Okay.
But
False information, by the way. They weren't the first one to cross the belt because Apollo 11 mission was the first only to land people on the moon. Before missions, they traveled people through the belt and just take a round of the moon and come back.
no, successfully they didn't stay in that belt for a long time. They didn't go through it. They took an orbit of the Earth.
No, these guys crossed before the 11, 9 and 8 when they got the rocket to take off. There were people inside the rocket.
But they've burned.
They
right?
never that was only one.
They burned in the air.
These guys were the first 3 men to land on the moon. They put for the test, they had 2 other tests that were successful in which they sent people outside to space, travel a bit around Earth, come back. Then after that,
But
in that Apollo,
did that traveling a bit around Earth consist of them going through the Van Allen belt?
no, they were inside that. That was the first one. The second one, they took a round of the moon in which they crossed the belt.
which other countries have also done but not landed on the moon.
Yeah, they've crossed. You only accepted that they.
No, but
crossed the
your
belt.
point was that they would get
They
cooked.
would have been cooked, but
Not
कहते
really.
अरे
But अगर वो बाकी कुक नहीं हुए तो फिर ये कैसे कुक हो जाते?
जो स्टार्टिंग में जो कहते जितने भी गए वो अर्थ के ऑर्बिट करके ही वापस आ गए. They were just trying to get out
that's
of
what I
Earth
said,
पहले
no?
ही.
That's
one
what
of
I
them, one of the missions also took an orbit
Which
of the
mission?
moon.
Apollo 9 went and took a round of the moon and came back.
Sure.
Apollo 9 or 10, but for sure.
Okay. I am the fucking judge. मेरे को भी
Earth
तो
orbit.
moon orbit किसने किया था? मैं भी सर्च करता हूँ.
Second to orbit the moon. Cool. Hmm.
So okay, so that makes sense.
And the reason that they didn't burn is because of what NASA said, which is true, because the belt is highly radioactive, but it is not going to be radioactive because they were inside a literal rocket which was protected under these scenarios, radiation scenarios. Plus they were wearing spacesuit. The radiation did not reach the astronauts. Plus if they had any disease or anything, they were kept under quarantine when they came back for 3 weeks in a small room, all 3 astronauts.
In a small room, that's kind of sad.
Small room. स्टूडियो का बजट कम था. And
Apollo 8 was the first one without any man to go and orbit the moon.
yes.
Okay, where is the next point? This one I'll have to give to AMK. This one got countered straight away, so that's 3-all. This is
3-all.
a tight debate.
Yeah. Then my last point is obviously the waving flag, which I saved.
That one's not the strongest point. Or is
It is. Just look at it. It's a visual proof. AMK has 0 visual.
Because I'm defending my point.
Jo-
Anyways, for this I can pull up a visual proof for you.
जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
This is a fucking picture though. This is not a video.
You just lost the game, brother.
In the video, I can show that it's the like when
Open
they
the
are.
video. Open the video. Open the video.
I have to YouTube.
Okay.
मेरा internet नहीं है. तू बोल.
Okay, sure.
Sure. Damn.
Sure.
A lot of confidence for someone
Of-
without a right key. Guys, AMK के लैपटॉप की राइट की नहीं है क्योंकि वो पागल है. उसने बहुत पहले ही निकाल दी थी वो जैसे ही लैपटॉप खरीदा था.
और उसको लग रहा था लैंड करें मून पे.
की हैंडल नहीं हो रही. मून लैंडिंग हैंडल करेंगे बताओ.
This was it?
Center it.
अबे
Molly-
उल्टा सेंटर कर.
Molly, don't say anything. Let me explain first and then
Yeah.
like you play it and then I'll explain and then we'll go.
Go for it. Explain.
थोड़ा और दिखाते हैं. इससे ज़्यादा तो दिखाते ही है. That's Buzz Aldrin by the way.
The actor. Who now
Yeah,
cashes checks for the.
He has come in movies by the way.
Of course he has. He's an actor. उसने बोला
स्टूडियो पे ही तो
This
बना है
is
वो.
the controversial video. That was the controversial video. Anyways, Keshav, do you know what I'm gonna say now?
हाँ
I
मुझे
bet you
पता है
do.
बट कहते हैं वो झूठ है. मेरा आर्गुमेंट ये कोई झूठ है क्योंकि कहते हैं ऐसा होता ही नहीं है.
Okay.
देख
So
अगर
the
मिट्टी
no,
थी.
it's not gravity. I was wrong that day.
हाँ?
I was wrong that day.
What day?
That day when I explained the
when
gravity.
अबे ग्रेविटी की बात नहीं कर रहा.
हाँ, तो
कहते हैं ये
उसको पहले बोलने देना. अभी तू पॉइंट लाया है फिर उसका काउंटर करियो. बोल.
नासा वाले चूतिए नहीं थे. नासा वाले को
Damn.
पता था कि फ्लैग नो ग्रेविटी में वेंचो गिर जाएगा. बट नोबडी लाइक्स टू सी अ नॉन hoisted flag, not a waving. They didn't want to wave the flag, by the way, and the flag is not waving. What you're seeing is a spring recoilation, okay? Because the flag it had a horizontal rod. If you look at the video again, that would make sense to you. A horizontal rod was keeping the flag straight since it was brought up. Now that rod had to be extended by the astronauts, but when they were extending it, that rod kind of got stuck. और वो स्प्रिंग रिकॉइलेशन जो रॉड को ऐसे कर रही थी, वो स्प्रिंग जो थी थोड़ी बैकअप हो गई. सो यू ओनली सी ऐसे पर 2 सेकंड के बाद जैसे ही फ्लैग करते हैं वो उसी पोजीशन में रहता है. इट्स नॉट फॉलिंग ऑल्सो फ्रॉम द साइड. What kind of AC in your house behaves like that, or wind behaves like that, or fan behaves like that?
Why would there even be that much wind in a studio?
yeah.
Exactly.
You-
No. I'm saying that's what I'm saying, right? Wind, अगर वो भी होता तो फिर वेव क्यों करता अगर studio
हाँ
होता?
मैं I'm
वो
saying
मेरे
अबे
point
they
है.
overlooked the fact they thought कि अमेरिका का waving flag अच्छा लगेगा वीडियो पे to make them patriotic.
But if you look at the video again, it's not waving. It gets stuck in this position. अब कौन सा wave ऐसे ही अटक जाता है, नीचे से फोल्ड करके ऐसे अटक जाता
So
है.
you're saying it got stuck in that straight
Because
position.
the astronauts, it just got stuck in a position where at an camera angle, it just looks like it waving and is stuck in that position. It doesn't move after 3 seconds, it's just stuck in that position. It's still as fuck after that position.
I'll have to agree to disagree.
Okay, this is a... See, the thing is that Keshav's point is a stretch too, and your defense of it is also a weird defense, but
No,
that
I'll
is... No, like the whole stick thing is...
हाँ.
I'm still giving you the point
हाँ.
because it's still more believable than कि वो hoist करना था, ये सीधा दिखाना था patriotic ये वो.
पर सीधा ही तो दिखाना, कौन सा फ्लैग झंडा दिखाओगे, यूएस का
हाँ,
फ्लैग ही
तो
नहीं दिखेगा.
अगर वो... पर ये यूएस ने इतना आगे तक सोची कि डंडा डालेंगे ताकि सीधा
नासा
रहे.
वाले थे भाई,
यार
चूतिए
बट कोई
थोड़ी
और
थे.
क्यों नहीं गया?
हाँ, वही that point. you
बाकी
got
सब
the
कितना
point.
भी कुछ कर लो बट और कोई क्यों नहीं गया?
अच्छा ठीक है, that was your point ना, चुप करो.
That you did get that one, but that's all though. That's the end of the
Yeah.
debate.
You don't have any other points? You
Nope.
could have brought a little more points.
Damn, he's getting cocky also now.
देखिए जरा,
You didn't brought the most fun point.
मून के स्टूडियो ले जाऊंगा तेरे को जहाँ पे
Then-
शूट हुआ था.
What
You-
was the most
अच्छा,
fun
I'll
point?
tell you the most fun point.
Okay, anyway, so for the debate's sake, Keshav has run out of points,
Yeah.
and the score currently right now is sitting at 4-3
4-3
to him. So, by the points, AMK wins,
won.
and I want to believe that it's real according to logic. But me personally, because of that one point, I'm also stuck on the fakeness of it, which is कि क्यों नहीं फिर से कोई ना कोई तो चला जाता
But
भाई.
trust me,
That
this
और
point-
वॉर खत्म होने का उन्होंने मैन मिशन बंद कर दिया उसके बाद.
Acha, but
That
Elon
point-
Musk in 2 years is going to put an end to this controversy because he
He's
said he
sending
will
someone to the moon.
He's sending someone to the moon, and he said we'll spot the things that the US left over there. And Elon
But
Musk is a
he's-
believer of the moon landing. by
Oh,
the
he
way.
is,
Yeah,
and he
he
says
is.
that हमें मिलेंगी चीजें.
Exactly.
ठीक है.
That's what he said. Why won't they just go to the moon instead of faking it? Because at that time it seemed much more problematic to actually fake it than go to the moon.
I don't know. That seems like
ये तो
Elon Musk's words, not
that's
my
like
words.
कि, oh yeah, like when you were 12, it's like much more problematic to watch porn. Why don't you just go fuck a milf as a 12-year-old? Like you get what I'm saying? When you were kids, it
These
was
are-
more problematic to go
These are
fuck a
Neil
milf.
deGrasse Tyson and Elon Musk का words,
नील
not mine.
डिग्रास टाइट.
नील डिग्रास को तो चुप करवा दो
भाई,
भाई.
उसकी तो बात
वो
मत
खुद
सुना
एक्टर है
करो.
बहन का लोड़ा.
But anyways, I'll tell you so no wait, first Keshav, you have to accept that you believe in the moon landing. That's what you said you would, that one of us has to say.
Okay. They?
No, you have to say.
I accept that moon landing was real.
I personally can't. The judge also. As the judge, I can't wrap my head
भाई
around it.
है ही नहीं, देख बस ये
Guy won.
और वो भी म्यूजिशियंस एम के जैसे म्यूजिशियंस बिलीव कर रहे हैं भाई. केशव जैसे साइंटिफिक बैकग्राउंड वाले लोग नहीं मान रहे.
साइंटिफिक बैग.
तू बता भाई.
हाँ.
But yeah, भाई I want to believe it because
लैब असिस्टेंट को अलमारी में बंद कर दिया था बायो.
like my mind is getting fucked right now. Like logically, the moon landing happened, but also logically, why didn't anyone else go?
Yeah.
It's strange.
I
but
gave you my
we'll
version
see. This
towards that,
podcast is
हाँ.
going to go on for 10 years. So the next 2 years,
We'll get
when
to know.
Elon Musk does the thing,
Then AMK
अगर
will-
नहीं मिली चीजें,
AMK तेरी तो साले.
फिर पिटाई होगी.
फिर तो मैं ही मून चले जाऊंगा.
फिर तो हमारा वो होगा वो बॉक्सिंग मैच.
तेरे को गांड पे लात मार के मून पे भेज देंगे भाई. तेरे फिर देखते थ्रस्टर क्या करते हैं वहां
To the
पे.
moon, हाँ.
तेरी एस चीक्स का इंप्रेशन पड़ जाएगा मून पे.
Just pray. Just pray.
अच्छा चलो.
Next 2 years are key.
आज तो जीत गया.
2 साल में देखते हैं ये कितनी लंबी रहती है जीत.
Elon is on my side.
Anyway, so what were the some
Oh,
fun
yeah,
points
the
that he
fun
missed?
Points. Did you see the Stephen King conspiracy?
I got the points which I believed.
अच्छा.
Oh,
I
what
didn't
was
No,
the
Stephen King conspiracy was quite cool.
Stephen King is the horror author.
Yeah, the one who did the क्या था उस मूवी का नाम?
उसने स्क्रिप्ट ऑफर करी थी इनको, उसको उन्होंने कहा थोड़ा हॉरर बना दिया तूने.
नहीं.
क्या मतलब पीछे से एलियन आ रहा है?
Yeah, they
Stephen
wanted.
King की मूवी कौन सी थी?
शाइनिंग.
हाँ.
मतलब उसकी नहीं थी,
No,
he
वो-
hated it.
हाँ, तो Stephen King. So what wasn't Stephen King a book author?
He is a
हाँ,
book
तो और क्या
author.
बोला मैंने?
उसने Shining. They must have based it on his book.
And he said I hated the movie. Yeah, he said.
One sec. I don't remember this because it's on my point. तो मेरे को एक बार डायरेक्टर का नाम देखने थे.
यार ऐसे नहीं चलेगा यार.
Stanley Kubrick. Sorry, my bad. Stanley Kubrick directed The Shining and the movie. That time he was a very, very good at the top director in the industry.
Okay.
Fine. So the conspiracy was that Stanley Kubrick is the one who directed the moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is one of the big conspiracies, is because in The Shining, there he of course by the government he was not allowed to accept that he did this shit, but in The Shining he's left shit ton of hinting to the Apollo 11 mission and shit ton of metaphors.
I don't even know what The Shining is about.
Shining is a horror movie.
Okay.
Thriller.
And horror sort
Thriller,
of.
bhai.
Thriller. Okay, fine.
हाँ.
There's no
Thriller
ghost.
movie.
It's a like a वो क्या कहते हैं cabin fever के ऊपर movie है.
So about in The Shining, he's left hints like बच्चा Apollo 11 का पहनता है, ऊपर सारे वो there's like space food. What they had Tang in space. That's the Tang in space. Sorry, the ad of Tang that time was that you'll become an astronaut if you have Tang.
Okay.
Blah blah blah.
हाँ.
A lot of thing basically hinting towards the like a numerous amount. These are only two. There were like over 20 things hinting to the Apollo 11 mission.
Uh-huh.
And metaphors like how he could not basically tell anyone, how the government would come for him if he did, and like stuff like that, like just hinting towards that.
This guy put those hints कि government
In
would
the
come kill
movie.
me if I put the...
Yeah, but this was like, of course,
If I publicly
Eas-
accept that I shot
Easter
the-
eggs. Easter
But how did
eggs.
he in the movie say it was fake? ये तो बस Apollo 11 और Apollo 11 के...
No, because the conspiracy was going on then. This movie was directed during the 80s.
I know, but what was the point of just leaving hints? ऐसे तो वो... How
He
do we
just-
know what he was pointing at? Because he just left hints, right? He didn't say that he was
By
leaning
Easter
towards
egg-
this side,
Easter
that
egg-
side.
Easter eggs are always picked up by people.
No,
Always
no,
picked up
they're
by
picked up, but the Easter egg is just that Apollo 11 or the Easter eggs were not pointing in one direction. Or were they? That's what I'm asking
That's
you.
what they were. People thought. See, yeah, that's what you're right.
Right,
about.
because he
Yeah.
could be just a fan
That's
of the
conspiracy.
landing.
He never accepted anything. So the
Right,
conspiracy
so the-
is that
'cause
he's
if the-
trying to
if
hint
उसने
towards.
NDA sign किया था ना obviously.
If he was just pointing towards it,
हाँ.
then तो he could be pointing कि landing हो गई बढ़िया cool है ये वो समझ रहे like how do we know like
It
he
could
wasn't
be-
leaning towards
it could
one
be,
side
yeah,
right? He
right.
could be leaning towards the side of कि real थी
हाँ.
because वो तो बस hints है they're not hinting towards a direction that
exactly
he's leaning
what
at.
I would say, but Keshav would argue that
I didn't put
That
this
he
point
directed
only.
it.
He's here he didn't argue that
Yeah.
yeah.
मेरे दिमाग में एक पॉइंट जीत गया अब खुद ही रख के.
but yeah this is like we can I think conclude this episode on the fact that
I was right.
both of you in a way won because I want to believe that it was real because the logic says so, but that one point will always be stuck in my head until someone goes, brings back and shows me.
Oh yeah. By
The
the
moon
way.
Shows
by
you
the way.
Sona Road.
No, the,
Okay. Wait. Just one more thing.
Damn, he's putting his hand on you. He's
Just
that confident
one
about
more
this
thing.
point.
One proof that you can test from here. One day we can test it. That there are human left objects that they mentioned back then on the moon.
क्या करेगा तू साले
You
हक्का
know what
फेंक
I'm
देगा
you know
अपना?
what I'm about
भाई
to
वो
say?
तो रोबोट भी छोड़ के आगे सकते हैं ना. अब तो गए थे इतने सारे.
पर
The
फ्लैग वो जो ऐसे
astronauts-
लगाया था
रोबोट फ्लैग नहीं ला सकता.
The astronauts left two highly reflective mirrors, and if you point these are experiments done till date, and people can Big Bang Theory में भी experiment करा था भाई.
ठीक है हम भी
If you
करेंगे
point, हाँ ये कर सकते हैं. If you get a high beam precision laser and we fire it from a rooftop at a certain direction, which is on NASA, they'll give you all the directions you need.
the
to do.
coordinates
Yeah, and we not the exact direction in which part of the moon is
so
supposed
the
to do a
coordinates
movement.
of the moon right?
Exactly. Telescope से देखकर if you point it there, the laser will bounce back at us in 2.5 seconds.
You're telling
This
me
is the
that
proof.
कितना बड़ा मिरर छोड़ा है कि वो यहाँ से भी बाउंस कर रही है
These are experiments done. People do it every day. Till date, people do it every day. Random लोग करते रहते हैं
हाई
दुनिया में.
प्रेसिजन लेजर देखियो कितने की है मैं भी खरीदूंगा बहनचोद ये तो करना पड़ेगा हाई प्रेसिजन लेजर
YouTube
फॉर
पे देख रहा है उसको
हाँ,
देखना.
मैं
हाई
इसको
प्रेसिजन
ले-
लेजर फॉर मून
laser-
एक्सपेरिमेंट
ये देख.
But this reflective material could have been left by robots also, like the drone or whatever.
दैट इज आल्सो
Okay.
अ वैलिड पॉइंट
Yeah, that is the valid point.
और तू तो अभी कह रहा था उसका रिफ्लेक्टिव होता है 7% रिफ्लेक्टिव सरफेस है
Surface नहीं, मिरर पे बाउंस कर रहे हैं लेजर.
But वो मिरर रोबोट भी तो रख सकता है. इंसान की क्या जरूरत है? प्रोब्स तो कितने गए हैं?
Why would they
वो तो
accept
है।
that the laser was put back then?
उससे पहले प्रोब्स भी तो गए थे यूएस के ही. अपोलो 11 से पहले
तो
प्रोब्स
पहले ही
पहुंचे
रखती थी
थे.
laser.
हाँ.
Okay.
और वो जूता वूता भी रोबोट बना कर आया है. अगर गया है तो.
भाई ये क्या ये बंदा देखियो केशव क्रैक हेड कर रहा है ये मैंचेस एक्सपेरिमेंट
तुम्हें
भाई
The fastest one is I'll just show you the Big Bang Theory one. They actually did the experiment.
भाई Big
no
Bang
no it's
Theory-
fine I believe you but we need to get a if that laser is anything under 10 lakh rupees then we'll buy it once we make that much money off the Podstars in the next 10 years.
I think AMK should sell both his kidneys for the laser tube for
To
science.
prove,
For
yeah,
science,
to
bro,
prove.
you have to sell it.
I don't need to prove it. It's already
No,
approved.
you have to
for
prove it.
podcasting science.
Yes, for the vlog. Sell it. Sell it now.
Okay, we can conclude this episode on the fact that I want to believe that it's real, but I still fail to believe that it's real because of that point कि और फिर क्यों नहीं गए, क्योंकि मेरे को लग रहा है जाते, but this argument will come to a close when Elon Musk finally goes there and brings that garbage back.
So Elon Musk भी बोल रहा है, गया हूँ CGI बना के दे दिया गंदा सा.
Elon ने भी fake कर दिया.
आदि लेवल के CGI पे कह रहे हैं, see guys, hello.
Elon ने भी fake कर दिया. नहीं, but अगर
Twitter
Elon,
live from the moon.
if Elon tells me that he's an alien, I'll believe that also.
It's not that hard for humans to go to. It's just risky as fuck. Just now to go to the moon. That's it.
When have politicians not wanted to take risks though? That's the thing. Guys, on that note, I think we can call it an episode. This has been episode 17 of the Podstars, where we have the biggest headphones, we have the biggest microphones, but we have the smallest penises. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe.